What is up, guys? This is Kyle from KGR doing a review on the legendary Sonic Adventure 2 Sonic from Joyride Studios. With the bass! Cause I'm all about that bass. No treble. Anyway, a brief history lesson about this figure. Now, back in 2001, 2002, when Sonic Adventure 2 was being ported to the GameCube as Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, which is also on PS3, Xbox 360, and PC, all through digital download, so pick it up, it's a great game. Anyway, when it was being released, and when GamePro was doing a review for the figure, GamePro and Joyride Studios decided to partner up and release this Sonic figure. They also released a Shadow figure, which is a little bit more rare, at least through my experience of trying to look for them. And they also have a prototype Sonic. They only made about 500 of those, and when you normally find them, they go for well over 100, sometimes even 200 maybe. And they're always in a box too, so that's good for collectors. And normally I don't like my figures in the box, but there's some figures I do want in the box. I want this figure in the box, and I want the prototype Sonic in the box, if I ever get that. And Nendoroid Sonic in the box is really sexy too. But I'm not talking about the Nendoroid Sonic, we're talking about this Sonic. But anyway, I don't know if you're supposed to order it through the magazine, or I don't know what the deal was. I know there was a commercial showing off Joyride Studios figures. They showed off Sonic. I remember they showed off I from Super Monkey Ball. And that's not the only figures they ever made too. They also made a Samus from Metroid. They made Mario from Super Mario Sunshine with the Flood and Yoshi. They made a Luigi from Luigi's Mansion where he has the Poltergust sucking in a ghost on a rug base, which is so amazing. But unfortunately, those are super duper rare. Now, I got this figure for a steal. I think out of all those figures, this is probably the most common one, but it's still a cool one nevertheless. Again, I don't know how much they went for back then. I think in the UK they went for about £15. That roughly is about $23 probably. And I don't know if it was like how video games are being sold, where like over here a PS4 is $400, while in the UK it's just £400. Now I don't know how much that'll translate to, but it's more expensive than what it looks like. So unfortunately, that's how that market is. But alas, we're not talking about that stuff. We're talking about a figure. I know some of you are saying, Kyle, get on with the freaking review already. Alright. So, before we go over the figure, let's go over the base real quick, because it's actually going to be very, very short. Okay, so we have this base, 2 pegs, Sonic, and the Sonic Adventure 2 logo. And it's a sticker, so there you go. Alright, now this Sonic logo right here, it's not really a logo, it's just Sonic. Here sometimes it's also printed in blue and not red, so I don't know which one of these is more rare. I don't know, it's just there. So there you go. And I like how it has these arrows as if it's either supposed to be like a dash pad, or it's supposed to be kind of like Radical Highway or something. I know Shadow's one base, because here apparently Shadow has 2 different bases. Because like where it's like this one with Shadow written down, or where it's red and yellow. And I think that's supposed to be, that might be a little bit more rare, but I don't know. I'm not a doctor. But yeah, I know that one's supposed to be based more like Radical Highway. But still, I like this. This is still a cool looking base. And we'll go over the pegs and stuff later. But now, let's go over the star of this review. Sonic. Alright, now when it comes to articulation, you can either say it's limited or unlimited. Let me explain that. Here, the only legitimate point of articulation is on the head. Now, I believe it is technically a ball joint, but it's meant to be used as a swivel. Alright, so there you go. But 360. And it's it feels awfully loose, so it's kind of scary, but whatever. But here, everything from the neck down is actually bendy. What I mean by that is, here under all this rubber, actually, not plastic, but rubber, it's a wire. Alright? So you can pretty much put them in any pose you would like to. Unfortunately, it's a bendy figure, and the main thing I hate about bendy figures is they snap in the inside so easily. With the experience of all the bendy figures I had as a kid, I had a couple of Sonic bendy figures. Not Sonic Adventure 2, unfortunately, but like they're from like Toy Island or something. But even, Gumby figures I used to have, all their wires in the inside would snap because of you playing with them and wearing them down. So when it comes to a figure like this, it's mainly for the collector market, not really much as to be played with. Now, unfortunately, I don't really play with my figures too much anymore, but this thing I'm gonna really take care of. It's a gem. But yeah, so anyway, you bend Sonic's knee, it kind of stays like that. Now you'll put it up, and then it'll probably go down a little bit, and then it'll try to stay. So, if you played with bendy figures before, then you pretty much know the story behind this figure. Now, I don't know how many people's figures snapped, because I never looked that up, because that's really like a sad story. Your Sonic Joyride figure broke in the arms of an angel. But yeah, in my experience, I've broken a lot of figures with wires, so I gotta be super duper careful with this guy. But yeah, that's pretty much it for articulation. But the paint job, it seems to be a decent job. Like since this is an American-made, well, I don't want to say American-made, but this is an American figure. It's not like with Figmas or Bandai, Tamashii Nations, or anything like that. You know what I'm talking about. There are going to be some mess-ups, like some bleeding from the sock to the leg. But other than that, it is a very, very great paint job. I really, really love this figure. Even the paint job on the shoes is immaculate. Like, this is the main selling point of the figure. If you're trying to sell me a bendy Sonic figure, I wouldn't buy it. But the fact that it has these shoes on it, that's the main selling point. Because this is the only legitimate action figure that I know of that has these shoes. There's other figures that are out there that have them custom made on by like customizers and stuff. And there's also a plush or two of Sonic with these type of soap shoes. And they're actually called soap shoes. Because if you never heard of soap shoes, look it up. They're shoes that allow you to grind. And even Healy's done that as well. But soap was the first that I know of. Anyway. The shoes, they're awesome. Like, we got all the detail on the bottom of the shoes as well. And I'm happy they did that because, like, this is going to be the only figure that's going to have this. They better get everything right. And they did a good job. Now, this is mainly based off the regular shoes. They're not based off the Lightspeed shoes that Sonic eventually gets in the game, which personally I don't really mind all that much because you only see this type of shoe for like 1-2 levels maybe, or more like 1.5. I can't remember if you're not including boss fights. So there you go. If you want to see a Sonic with all of his freaking gear on, there's customized figures out there. Unfortunately, they didn't customize on this. Well, actually, no, never mind. That's actually a good thing they didn't customize this, because you don't want to ruin a good figure like this. This is gorgeous, gorgeous figure. And yeah, the only thing that there's a few things I don't like about this figure. For one, it's a bendy figure. Bendy figures suck because of how easily they break. Because it's not like with a regular figure. Like, suppose I snap the arm off this figure. If I send it to a toy customizer, they can put it back on with super glue or try to, I don't know, tinker with it somehow so it's back on, but still have the articulations and everything. But once the wire breaks in this, you can't fix it. And when you do, it's not going to be very pretty. Because you can't really fix this. Like, when the wire snaps, you have to, like, go inside, and that's not good. So I think once it snaps, it's dead. It is dead like your pet goldfish. It's not coming back. But it's still a great piece. That's the best way to segue to that. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I am horrible at talking. But I'm still also bad at making reviews. But let's keep talking about this figure. Now, with the base, we already talked about the base. Listen, I hope I did because this review took multiple takes. Okay, here we got 2 giant pegs right here, alright? Now, here on the shoe, we got 2 holes on each shoe. We got 2 of them that are like right in the center, and then we have one down here, and then one up there. Alright, so this is for when you can have Sonic either in a standing pose or in a running pose. Or you can call it a jogging pose or a walking pose. You can call it whatever you want. I don't freaking care. Alright, first let's show off what it looks like when you have both the pegs in these holes. Alright, so come on. There you go. Now, Sonic has his legs spread, and it looks kind of weird, in my opinion. So, I'm probably not going to have Sonic in that pose. But what I am going to do, pull it off. There we go. I'm going to have him in his running pose. Now, putting the figure on the base is not hard, it's just that it takes a little bit of effort, and it's awfully noisy. Wasn't that awfully quiet? There we go. So, yeah, it looks kind of weird. Unfortunately, I can't really fix how that looks, but fine. Okay, now it's up to you to either put one arm in front of him, and then one arm behind him, or you can put both behind him, or if for some reason you want to put him up, like, I don't know, on top of his head for some reason, which I'm not going to do, you can do that. It's all up to you. You will be the master of the figure. But, yeah, let's take this off the base, actually. There we go. Now, I don't know how many people broke their stands or their pegs just trying to get this figure off, because that's a little scary, in my opinion. Anyway, also, the only thing I don't like, I said there was two things I didn't like about this figure, and it's the bendy. And that never really explained what this last thing was. Now, the other thing is the way how his face is. Like how he's always looking to the side. Don't get me wrong, it looks really cool. But I wish it was looking forward. Like, since this is the only Sonic figure with soap shoes, this is what we're stuck with. So, I know they're trying to emulate how it's supposed to look on the stand-up. There's actually a third thing I don't like about it. It's supposed to kind of look like his face on the cover of Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. And they did a good job. But, I don't know. I'd just rather have it looking forward, you know? But, anyway, let's have a height stand comparison thing to the 5-inch Jazzwares Sonic. They seem, I think Jazzwares Sonic seems to be a little bit taller, but still, it's about a 5-inch scale, and it looks good. Now, the way Sonic's head's shaped, at least Joyride Sonic, like this is how it's shaped. I'm not sure if it's really that game accurate. I don't think it is. At least Sonic Adventure 2, like, accurate. But I don't care. He has soap shoes. It's all that matters. And another thing I don't like about this figure is you can't. It's really hard for him to have him stand up perfectly. Because here, it seems like this, like his left leg, seems to be longer than the right leg. So he'll always be leaning over, and getting him to stand up straight is like getting him to stand up as a whole without the stand can be a little bit difficult. The fact that I'm doing it is a freaking miracle, because this is actually an unlevel surface. So the fact that he's doing it, he's doing a good job. So if you want to try to find this figure, you're probably gonna find it on eBay, and you're probably better off finding it with the stand. But if you don't find it with the stand, don't pay too much for it. Now, these figures normally go for about $30 to $50. It really fluctuates a lot. And I got mine for $23, which is an excellent price compared to those prices. And the fact that it came with the stand too, that's even better. Now, if you're going to try to get this figure, if you're getting it with the stand, don't pay any more than $40. Alright? But if you find one without the stand, pay anywhere from $20 to $25. If he asks for more than $30, do not get it. Because this is a figure that like you really need a stand for. It's like the Jazzwares Sonic, like in the 3-inch line. Like, well, that Sonic's just top heavy. This one, technically he is top heavy, but it's just that he has a hard time standing up because getting his legs straight is freaking hard. But fine. So, do I recommend you getting this figure? Again, that all depends on what kind of a person you are. Like, if you're just a kid and you want some Sonic toys, This is one I recommend waiting until you really take care of your stuff like a collector does. Because this is obviously a collector's item. This is not really much of a play toy. If you want a play toy, get this Sonic. Alright? They're like not even 15 bucks. Alright? Actually, they're probably like 10. I can't remember how much I paid for that. But this type of figure, they're really easy to break because of the type of figure it is, a bendy figure. So if you get it, you're gonna mainly keep it on your shelf for a while and just be awfully careful trying to put it in new poses. But yeah, I've wanted this figure for 12 years and I finally got one. And am I satisfied? Very. I am very satisfied. It's a shame I can't put him up, like, you know, without his base. But since I have the base, I'm always going to be putting him on my shelf or anything with the base because it just looks good. And I love the design of the base too. It's a great design. But I wish he was easier to, like, put in poses, but that's just bendy. That's how bending goes. So yeah, go ahead and try and track this figure down if you're a good collector. But if you're a kid, stay away from this thing for now. Just wait until you are a proper adult or a very mature teenager who also collects figures. But fine. Alright, so if you're new to the channel and you like what you saw, then don't forget to like, comment, favorite, and subscribe. And tune in next time for my Infamous Let's Play. But the next review I'm most likely going to be doing is a Hyrule Warrior scarf, actually. Because I'm probably not going to get any more Sonic Boom figures for a while. Because the money that I had to buy some more figures, I ended up using that money to buy my ID. And you know, that's actually more important. Man, I waited until I was 21 to get my ID. Whatever. But anyway, I guess I will see you guys next video.